Welcome, everybody. This is so exciting. We've not had this group of people in the same room for quite a while.
It has been some time. I left my.
Oh yeah, go get your caffeine. Real quick, Dusk, what was your character's name?
Attica. Spell.
Okay.
A-D-I-K-A.
A-D-I-K-A.
Cool.
Okay.
And then Eric, what was yours?
I think I'm going with Leaf. L-I-E-F.
L.
Oh, that's fun.
L.
Okay, cool.
I-E-F.
Okay, so what we're gonna start off with,
Can we go over these characters' name real quick?
yeah, well,
Yeah, what's yours?
Attica.
Attica.
yeah, everyone trade names.
Yeah. This is important.
Mine is Nadine.
N-A-D-I-N-E.
Yeah.
What?
Nadine.
Here.
N-A-D-I-N-E.
I got it.
Yeah.
What?
What? Wait, you're Nonish?
I'm,
Half orc.
yeah, half orc.
You really just pit us against each other.
I'm the one that Eric hates now.
Remember that all the
I'm
factions.
Isn't the whole point of this campaign to like bring
Yeah,
everybody
ow.
together?
Remember the
Like,
whole thing about the factions are all united for the moment. So
Wait, what's your name again?
I haven't pitted you against each other. I've just given you different tools.
Oh, I wrote that under Jeremy.
P-H.
Attica.
Oh,
I like this.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
What's their name? In the other Worlds Apart campaign, not Hated
Molly?
by Molly. What's
Nameless?
Lore.
Nameless? Lore. They showed me this. And
That's
it's so
awesome.
cool, and it has everything.
Hell
for you.
yeah.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
We
Okay.
can do spell abilities.
Does anyone need one of my spare set of candy-themed dice here?
That's adorable.
We have this. We have little candy ones here, and then
Pretty well for a druid.
these ones are like dark chocolate swirl.
This is a chunky D20.
Dark chocolate swirl.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Does anyone need one?
I got mine.
Okay, sick. I'm gonna.
Bixby. B-I-X-B-Y.
If we
Like
do
the
a
Samsung Bixby?
You can't play that
Okay.
anymore.
So
Copyright issues.
so guys, if we do a dramatic important roll, we will use this set of dice in front of this camera right about here. So if there's ever a
lovely.
huge roll, we'll go for the thematic camera
Wendy's.
dice.
Not sponsored.
Get your
Yes, do
Wendy's out of the
keep keep your Wendy's out of the drama zone.
Out of the drama.
Okay, do we have everyone have a brief grasp on our characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna introduce the characters
the
as we
names.
go.
Yeah, the names.
Okay, this is a little bit in the way.
Oh, that's a camera. I thought it was just like a little box.
We're good. We're good.
Better,
Okay.
better.
Everyone can see my
Okay.
bad handwriting.
Okay. Well, in any case,
How's
go
the-
to main view because this isn't very important right now.
Wait,
I'll-
wait.
Just that camera.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. It was a little funny.
Okay.
Just a small map.
Yes, we'll go into the setting appropriate borders in a second.
Whose Yeti
I'm
is this?
blocking you from
That
the
one's
camera.
Hayden's.
You'll have jazz.
All right, we good, Hayden?
Yes.
All right. So basically, what we're gonna start with today is we're just gonna introduce us as players, not your characters. So go ahead and say your name to the camera and your desired pronouns. I'll start. I am Cersei, she, her, and I will be your lovely dungeon master this evening. We'll go this way around.
I'm Garrett. I use he, him, or they, them.
Cool.
Feels like the first day, but...
Say that every time we introduce characters.
I know.
I'm Alina. I don't care what pronouns, but they're normally she, her. Yeah, go for it. I don't care.
Nerd.
Anyway, that's it.
I love if nerd was a pronoun.
I'm Kalia. I use she, her, or they, them. Doesn't matter to me. Let's rock and roll.
Hell
Yeah,
yes.
dude, that's what I'm saying.
I'm Dusk, and I use they, them most days. That works.
Hell yeah.
I'm Eric. I use he, him pronouns.
Cool. Is everybody in view from what we got here?
Clay, you might want to scooch up maybe just a little bit.
Yeah. I was thinking Cleus.
Dusk doesn't stink that much. It's okay.
It's a little linear over there.
Whoa! You're gonna make
Oh,
me
there's a
knock on the
microphone.
mic stand.
Sorry.
Yes, please keep roughhousing to a minimum.
Roughhousing
That's
the
okay, there's no
minimum.
microphone.
Okay, I think it's
Maximum.
Minimum.
Okay, so that's as good as it's gonna get with our cart setup, which I think is fine.
Adorable setup.
Okay, yes, so
I love that. That's so cool.
thank you. I've spent a lot of time crafting all of the props and fun things that you guys are going to encounter. So let's get into it. Let's get into this little bit of a mystery.
Mystery.
We're gonna start with a bit of a dramatic crawl. Yes, thank you. I actually do have music selected for this.
Crawl?
Will not need Hayden's very helpful.
Yeah, I apologize.
On your hands and knees.
Okay.
This is
No,
a
how do
crawl.
you get in?
All right. Are you guys ready to begin?
Rude.
The Sweetmakers had all but disappeared. This simple phrase hung on every tongue and rang in every ear. A dark billow moves the clouds towards an unthinking horizon. Whether friend or fiend, this turn was on the forefront of every person's mind. A winter chill plucks leaves from branches, threatening to turn the bare against the clothed. The reasoning behind such a tragedy is unknown. They can only dream of what brought them this fate. What spectacles of time, grief, and negligence soiled the promises of reliance and kinship. Imagine carefully what might occur in their absence. The era of peace and understanding may fade. Imagine the meager, left to beg on corners where charity lives no more. Imagine the helpless, taken into servitude and dominion. Imagine the mighty, empowered on their thrones, unchecked in their hour of compelled worship. Imagine the whole, built on pain, built on suffering. No delight garnishes the common hearth. No sweetness graces the common food. All should fear what might occur, but fear it no more than the trusted who let it come to pass. Welcome to the Sweetmaker's secret.
I might pass out right now.
All right, so there was that, and then we have the sort of setting description just to get everyone familiar with the broad strokes. But I think if anyone's listened to the Session 0, you've seen that, and I'll narrate these locations as we get to them. If everybody would, this isn't. I don't want you to be afraid. This isn't anything big. This is just a means of letting fate decide our introductions. Everyone roll initiative.
I'm a spellcaster, man.
8,
14.
15.
11.
Also 14.
Okay, 15 was highest, right?
Yes.
15.
There were two 14s.
I'm a fancy bitch today. Okay, Clea was 8, right? Clea
Yeah,
was the
I'm the
lowest?
bottom.
14.
14.
Also 14.
Okay, which of yours dex score is higher? Actually, no, roll a contest. D6s.
D6s.
Yes!
Any bonus?
Well, yeah, but this is fate, and you can't dodge fate, so. That's 2 ones. So we'll go again.
Ooh, mini guy.
Fate is not on your side tonight, my friends.
Ooh.
Okay, average. And a 2. All right, so Alina's up before Eric.
I don't know if that is
Oh, and I'm missing one. Dusk. You're kind of sandwiched in the middle here. All right.
So far behind. Wow. Catch
Okay.
up a little bit, dude.
Oh, look at you being all purple.
It's my favorite color. Let's go.
Cool. Okay. So, oh, this is exciting. I am very anxious to play with you guys. This is gonna be great. Okay, and we're gonna let the music fade out because we're no longer in the intro crawl. Okay, Garrett, your character is currently sitting alone in a grade library. amidst fallen wreckage of toppled residences and formerly smoldering and still scorched cinder and bricks that kind of litter the streets, you find yourself in Orphan's Row, in a peculiar library that you have been frequenting for quite a while. And the bookshelves are, meager in terms of what they contain. But you just can't help but return to this place over and over again. The library is called Kindling Will, and this bookstore has perplexed you for quite a while. Not because there's anything particularly intriguing of the context of the tome that you are currently reading, but because there's some you've suspicions that stuff is going on here. As we sort of pan in on your character surreptitiously leafing through a book they've already read thousands of times before, what do you look like?
This is a not particularly tall, but not short, Owlin character. He is distinguishably brown, lighter colors near the face, but a very, you can see kind of the peak of what you would guess to be a big yellow patch on his stomach. Hence the name Ochre Belly. Bixby is kind of holding this book. Seems to be holding it close in his arms. There is a green tunic covering most of his body with a large brown leather belt around the middle. And he's a bird.
Nice.
If you would, please,
Oh no.
place your figure on the map.
How did you do that?
Having other sessions that I was telling you is really cool.
Did you just do that by hand?
Yep.
Oh my.
Yeah, I thought the camera was having problems. It was just covered.
Oh no, yeah, I covered it because we were using it. Okay, so go back to our default view. Is that centered?
A little bit more to the right. Move the camera a little more to the right.
Do you know if there's
Good.
a turn on the screen timeout?
Good.
Right there?
Yeah, just
Okay, perfect.
If not, I can make that.
Okay, you're on the streets of the Orphan Row, and you're in this bookstore, and you've got this book that's just kind of mundane intricacies of cantrips, pretty beginner stuff, but it's just a book that you're reading as sort of a cover. You're kind of keeping suspicions low as you're kind of taking a look at a couple paragraphs, kind of looking around, and you're just kind of fake reading this book to get a feel for the situation. Because the one thing about this library is you've read almost every book in Lier that's in a public library, right? Which this place technically is. But this is the only one to have a hidden wing, a selection of books that you are not allowed access to. And you've caught people coming and going at any time of day, any time of night, just going to and fro to this locked sort of back chamber of the kindled will. And it has, for a good long while, piqued your curiosity. What would you like to do?
Handling this book still, I'm assuming there's shelves set up between the main counters.
Yeah,
so
there's shelves, there's a main counter near the doorway, and then there's sort of this improvised reading nook where you can tell a hole in the wall was beforehand, but now they've kind of made this exterior cup out of wood, out of scattered wood and debris, and so that serves as this little reading nook that you've probably found your way into.
Are there any other people in the store? Any customers?
There is the owner of the establishment is currently present, but is sort of absent-mindedly reading a book of her own. and then you know that there is a person in the hidden library right now, and they have just exited. You see them open the door, close it quietly behind them, and take their leave.
So I saw where the door was.
Yes, you know where the door is.
I want to double check, make sure shop owner's distracted.
You see that as this person exits, they toss a pair of keys to the librarian, and it seems like that unlocks the hidden library.
Okay. I would love to go up and talk to this owner.
Okay. You head up to the front desk, where this dragonborn woman is kind of flipping through a book of her own. What do you want to say?
This little store, it's a lovely thing you got. There's a couple other places in town, but are there any more books here? Is there something different, something new?
Any more books that you're allowed to read? No. What you see is what you got, I'm afraid.
So there are books I'm not allowed to read?
Correct.
Could I ask why?
What's your name?
Bixby.
Hi, Bixby. I'm Amy. And around these parts, we're a lot more friendly than we are business-oriented. I know you're new, but there are certain parts of this town that you don't tread into, and you should be happy about that.
I appreciate the advice, but
In short, those books aren't for you. Please leave them alone.
all right. Who were they for?
Make a persuasion check. First roll of the game, guys.
Best be good.
Ooh. A 10.
She says, they don't concern you, okay? They're nothing world-ending, they're nothing dangerous, they're just books, alright? She turns back to her
I
reading.
want to cast yes, that spell.
Nervous spellcasting.
I want to cast suggestion.
You know, oh wait, we are level 3, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, oops. Okay. You cast suggestion. She needs to make a save. All right.
Getting all the
Oh, boy.
fun.
You might like get straight
get
thrown out of this
banned.
library.
Yeah, I
I
might.
mean, you read all the books.
You have read all the books. She rolls a 16.
Dang.
Okay, so you start like muttering arcane like stuff at her, and she just like she's like reading her book, and then she just goes.
I swallowed wrong.
She says,
I'll be leaving. Goodbye.
"Yeah."
Have a great day.
You kind of cough and you exit, and you're in a little bit of a hurry. And as you go, you bump into somebody on your way out, and it is your clockwork friend, your robot buddy who's your roommate. Would you like to introduce him to the rest of the pack?
This is Copper Top. He's the best. You know the movie Robots, right?
Uh-huh.
So you know the red one.
Yeah.
Imagine him, but a little less like
Is he voiced
janky.
by Robin Williams?
Of course he is.
Oh wait, shit! You know what? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I forgot to introduce Hayden. Hayden, you gotta do an
yeah.
introduction.
I am the camera guy. Alright, cool, we're good.
Pronouns, Hayden.
What?
Pronouns.
He and him.
Cool, great. All right,
Great.
sick.
They, it's,
All right.
Everything.
Sorry, continue.
Cool. So imagine the red robot from Robots and Zenyatta, and squish them together,
Wait.
and that's what you get.
That's a
Oh,
very
I forgot it was
copper like crown of the head.
okay.
Everything else is not that.
Okay.
Copper top.
Copper Top. Okay. Yeah. So Copper Top is here, and he's sort of in his guard attire. That's gonna be our Copper Top for the moment. You bump into Copper Top, and he says, "Oh, Bixby, I I was just looking for you, and you're still trying to like get past him.
Yeah, let's leave this. Let's just go this way.
Okay, all right. And he heads outside, along with you. And you're now standing in the Orphan Rose streets. You see sort of the tilting and chittering buildings that are just precariously leaning over the alleyways. And he just says, I heard something that I thought would be of note to you. I was on guard today. Nodish being all in a scurry and whatnot. Apparently they're sending a party of investigators of Nodish troops and stuff to go and investigate the Sweetmaker estate. And that may not interest you right off the bat, but seeing how the Sweetmakers are, clockwork adepts, they decided to hire an expert. An expert I believe you've been looking for.
That's, yeah. Okay.
You can't tell anyone I told you because it's kind of technically confidential. I could be fired.
Of course.
I mean, just pretend to be poking around there. You might be able to ask him some questions. All right?
Do you want to come with me or?
Confidential information.
Of course.
I'll see you at home, buddy. And he pats you on the back and he says, "I wish you luck." Yeah, I'll see you. And Coppertop starts heading off
What
towards
a
the forest.
homie.
So Coppertop starts heading out, and you begin to turn your attention towards the center square of town, and you begin to head towards the Sweetmaker estate. So Garrett is on his way. Next, in initiative order, Alina. Your character... Yes, go ahead. Your character is currently at a tavern. And we really didn't talk about what portions of Lier you frequent. But if you go ahead and give me a district, I'll give you a tavern.
Let me pick it towards the camera so I can see what it is.
A district?
Yeah, so what faction, sort of?
Probably in the north. Wait.
North is Nodish.
Nodish.
Nodish are to the east.
Yeah.
I'd be with the
They're
Nodish.
to the
is what I
northeast,
would
so...
Yeah.
You're with the Nodish. Well, okay.
Or like near.
Yeah. There's totally a Nodish geared tavern. It's
Everyone Nodish.
well, okay. So actually, you end up in this tavern. It's more of a winery because being a noble establishment, it's more classy.
Oh, I get to be fancy.
And so, yeah, you get to be fancy, and you're in there perusing the wines, so you have basically these two wineries are on the same street, and there's one that was built by the Nodish and one that was built by the Prospers, and the Prospers one is named right from the Vine Winery, and the other one is You Can't Wine Winery. So you're in You Can't Wine Winery, which is sort of the dwarven hoedown tavern. I'll give you guys a sec to write that down as I find some
I like
music.
how we're all writing that down.
Yeah.
Like that was the most important information that we've gotten.
We learned from the other campaign that we have to take.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of
Have an
messed
alarm.
up there.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of taking
Okay.
fat notes, which is nice.
Yeah. I was the only note
Yeah,
taker
we're not gonna
once.
rely on
It was
Alina.
bad. It was like really
And then-
bad.
I had
And then
like
you kept
some.
secrets.
And then I didn't show up, and then I also
notes.
could meld history to my own brain.
Okay.
And her character, yeah.
And my character is
Interesting.
going through a villain arc right now.
Okay. This
Anyway,
campaign.
Yes.
I read the Can't Wine Winery.
Yes, you're in the Camp Wine Winery.
Yay.
I feel like you're probably just sipping on some wine, and you're probably in the middle of a business transaction with a member of the guard. Don't act.
Wait, you're not talking.
No, that's a member of the guard.
I've got like one guard, okay? yeah, so they're telling you about this job. This job opportunity for yourself. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking because you're ultimately being hired to use skills that you don't necessarily possess. But the reward and the prospect of this particular endeavor is too enticing for you to turn down. Yes, Eric.
Does Alina get to describe their character? to
Oh,
us?
thank you. Alina, what does your character look like?
Okay.
I would not know their name, right?
Well, you know the name Lifroy.
Yes. Okay, I'm Lifroy. I am very much 3'7".
Important notes.
Entirely 3'7".
A whopping piece
Of course.
I have gray blue eyes, grayish brown skin. My hair is really spiky and short. It just goes wherever it wants. I don't really care. I wear a cloak that's embroidered with like gears and spiders, which is fun. And then my proudest possession are my gloves, which are adorned with silvery spiders and they're purple. And they're magic.
Yes, a proclamation of your proud artificing status.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Me and my master artificer made these before I had to leave my town, and I took them on the run. Sadly, my master did not make it, but
Tragic.
I will live on his legend.
Great.
Civil War.
You're currently meeting with Isilka.
Can you spell
Isilka Nod. Esilka.
Esilka?
Yep. She is a relatively high Nodish general, close to their noble family, a direct descendant, and since a very young age, she's been trusted with this position in their militia. She's a senior member, which means she's very experienced. She's in like her late 30s, and she's the one who's called you here for this job. And she sits on the other side of the table and she says, so yeah, we're just trying to figure out what's going on with the disappearances. Our forces are a bit stretched. We just need someone to get in there, ascertain any magical things. Is that in your wheelhouse?
Yes.
All right, great. How's 50 gold pieces sound for a night of your work?
For just a night?
Yes.
I could do that.
Okay. She takes out 50 gold pieces and puts it on the table between you.
Good. I reach out and
You go ahead and nab it. She says, just be quiet about it. We don't want anyone getting in there and poking around while it's vacant.
You're the expert.
There will be some. She says there will be some other assistants there. My guards are fetching other mercenaries for you.
mercenaries that understand.
Yeah, they'll just help you poke around. Mercenaries, volunteers, whatever. They're going to be there helping you poke around. They aren't necessarily at your command. It's a group effort. We're just paying you specifically for your expertise. Yes.
It's also good to probably have a fresh set of eyes.
Indeed, and that is exactly why we're going with this plan.
Okay.
So
when do I start?
Right now.
Okay.
If you could head over there right now, that would be fantastic.
Yes, I'd like to just finish.
Yeah. It's pretty strong stuff. It is a dwarven winery. But you get to your feet and you're just gonna head there.
Yeah.
All right.
Paid.
Cool. Yeah, you head towards the Sweetmaker estate. And just for everyone at home, this is in fact the Sweetmaker estate. Yes, so this is the locale you will be exploring shortly. In a three-dimensional version, but beside the point.
Oh, that's
Okay. Next, we have Dusk.
What?
Wait. Sorry. sorry. I'm not used to this thing yet. I count it down. Sorry, that's my bad.
It's not fair.
There's no fair. Okay. Eric, your character is currently sitting on the doorstep of the Sweetmaker estate. You may put your figure on the board if you would like. I'll take guards member 2. Eric, you are currently there, and your NPC I actually have another minifigure for. And art for a matter of fact. Hayden, if you would pull up Mittens. We have Mittens.
Yes, Mittens.
Mittens, yes. So you are outside the Sweetmaker estate, just kind of pacing in the darkness, where they have sort of a couple outdoor tables set up, and Mittens is bawling.
How long has it been since the disappearance?
This has been a full 12 hours, and you guys are starting to creep into the midnight hours. So things are getting dark. Search parties are starting to return. It's a little bit disheartening. And Mittens has just been inconsolable the whole time. She's starting to compose herself, but it's a slow process. She is this just super sweet bugbear. She's got sort of gnarled teeth, but other than that, her demeanor is just very polite and calm. She wears this apron. She has a large rolling pin at her side, and she has her like fur and mutton chops all up in little like hair ties so that they don't interfere with her work in the candy store. Yeah, from what you, if you recall from what we discussed, Mittens was the first person to discover the disappearance, right?
Yep.
So the two of you have just been kind of scrambling, trying to look around. But before you yourself could make it to the Sweetmaker estate, you were out in the surrounding forest checking the usual spots for Edlark, one of the missing brothers, and all of that. I realized I probably should have mentioned that the Sweetmakers are missing. No, I did in the opening crawl. We're good. Yes, so their disappearance has stoked everyone into sort of this frenzy, but you were out looking and you've just returned here to find that a Noddish patrol was investigating the home, and they kind of this Noddish band was investigating, and you just got here like 5 minutes ago, and you see they're clearing out for some reason. You don't know if they found anything. They're just kind of moving about.
I'd definitely like to approach them rather briskly.
Okay.
What's going on here?
We were just checking everything out. Seems to be fine. No signs of struggle. No nothing.
Well, who let you in?
The door was unlocked. Actually, wait, no. Mittens let us in.
Mittens has been quite out of it recently. Well,
It's fine. I mean, we didn't find anything. If you want to take a crack at it, you can. We've got other folks coming.
Who?
Replacements.
For?
Us.
Because of your incompetence, I understand.
No, it's getting late.
We're all incompetent at something.
Kalia, I'm actually gonna cheat you in here, because Kalia, you are a part of this Noddish patrol. So you're coming out from. Do you want to put your thing on the board?
Yes. All right, little man.
Oh, maybe I should have had Eric at the corner chair.
Oh.
I'm rethinking this.
Nice.
We'll figure out seating.
I do
But yes, you are here. You're coming out of the building, and I think it's hard for you to sort of suppress a sad look. And I just realized I forgot to let you explain what your character looks like. Go ahead. And, what's your character look
Okay,
like?
Leaf is he's a rather short for a high elf. He's just over 5 feet.
Just over 5 feet short.
For his kind, that's a little bit shorter. But he has fairly long, dirty blonde hair that is braided in 2 separate braids that run along his shoulders. He wears a bright sort of cream-colored robe with gold and emerald green highlights. He carries a quarterstaff with him and wears a beautiful set of green earrings that twinkle somewhat like dew. That's it.
You got it, Garrett. That's what he was
Word
referencing.
association really just went
It
off.
wasn't a dewdrop on a leaf. It was mountain. That's what it was.
That's it.
Just gotta steamroll the hard work like we always do. All right. Continue. Was that all?
I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you're meeting eyes with Kalia, which Kalia, without getting too detailed so that you can get detailed, Kalia's character very much looks like a senior member of this guard. 60 plus in age, right?
Like late 50s.
Late 50s. Okay. But very like battle. Actually, describe your character.
Okay. So I'm a fairly large woman, older in years, like I said, late 50s. I'm a half orc, and I also have it's kind of like a braided crown almost going from either side, and then it combines into one in the back. Still have pretty long hair that's salt and peppered from age, and I have tons of scars along my body, and I'm donning the Nottish garb.
Yep.
And I have a big old halberd.
Okay. Cool.
I did forget to mention. I think that on the left chest of my robes is the Prosper family
Right.
insignia.
Prosper insignia.
Prosper.
Yeah.
Nothing
So.
wrong with you.
That's good.
Okay. So they're coming out. Go ahead and make an insight check for me, Eric.
Bless you.
14.
14. Kalia, go ahead and roll. Are you trying to conceal the feeling you're feeling right now?
Yeah.
Okay, roll deception.
Okay. Oh, 12.
Okay. You can tell that the Nottish company are trying to keep a stern, strong face. But you can tell that there's sort of an ambient shock and maybe a bit of fear that is sort of going through their ranks. And you don't know what to make of it.
Interesting. So Kalia's character Nadine, does she look like she's sort of the leader of the pack here?
No. You get the feeling that the leader is off somewhere else. And this patrol looks rather light. There's only like 3 or 4 people still left. It seems like maybe another sect of this little patrol broke off at some point. But yeah, it kind of feels like Kalia is de facto in charge, but not being a Nottish, they aren't in charge.
Okay, well, since Nadine looks to be of more mature age and looks to be experienced, I like to approach Nadine with sort of a gentle posture, seeming to be caring.
As you do, Kalia, you're wrapping up, or Nadine is wrapping up a conversation with one of the other Nottish soldiers, and they just say, "Here, all I can spare you is like 5 gold. You go find someone else to search in your stead, and you can go home. All right?
I'm not gonna do that.
You can. All right? I know you're like, you're gonna get yourself hurt.
But if I'm not gonna be the one there, then someone else is gonna get hurt. You understand?
I am worried it's not gonna pick up.
Okay,
So
okay.
just a little louder.
Yeah. You understand the dangers that are in there.
I don't fucking
We
know.
were hired to do this job for a reason.
What? Then let's hire someone else. We are clearly not qualified.
Fine, give me the gold.
Yeah. He hands you 5 gold, and then he just says, I don't know. I'm just following
Go
orders.
fuck
all right?
off then.
Okay. All right. Cool. He leaves.
Do I hear this conversation?
Make a perception check.
Just hears
Oh
the
boy! Oh boy! Non-nat 20.
Yeah. You catch the broad strokes.
Okay, so after this other guard fucks off, I'd like to approach this larger woman with a more gentle approach, as I was saying, and sort of say, you look weary. Are you all right?
Just a long day's work. Can I help you with anything?
Well, I'm just concerned for my lost friend and his family, and I was wondering if you had any leads.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, actually. Me and my troops. And you knew the Sweetmakers.
Yes, quite intimately, actually.
Well, I'm sorry that about the disappearance. We're working our best to find them right now.
Actually, Clea, you've been around for a good long while, and you would know that Leaf is kind of Edlark's right-hand man. Very, very close, second in command to Edlark. Not usually very open and, hard-spoken when in, like, actual political matters, but always there, ever-present, just kind of presiding.
Cool.
As extra backup.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at you for a long moment. Do I know you from somewhere?
You may have seen me around. I'm fairly well known around these parts.
You're
But,
one of the Sweetmakers. Him men, aren't you?
I consider him more of a friend.
Well, can you tell me anything about your friend before? he went
Nothing
missing?
seemed to be off before he disappeared. I have as much information as you do.
Right.
Your other guards seem to be quite distressed.
They don't know what they're fucking doing.
That's fair, they are of the Nordish.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that Nordish province is what determines their wits.
Well, no, not always, of course. I mean no offense, I'm sorry. That's just, sorry. It runs in the family. I can't
Yes,
help
I
it.
do encourage you to choose your words carefully from here on out, though.
Understood. My apologies.
Right.
I just, are you sure there's nothing that was at all concerning that you found in there, that you've heard?
You probably know as much as you do.
Okay, well,
But if you're... Look, why are you here?
why do you think? My best friend is gone.
Fair enough. Look, we could use someone who actually knows the Sweetmaker establishment better than we do. If you'd like, you can step in and help us out.
I'd love to do whatever I can.
We need all the eyes we need.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys resolve to put aside what little differences you have in order to figure out what's going on here. And we're gonna pan away again to Orphan Row, but out of sort of the commercial district to a residence, a old home amongst the debris of the Orphan Row, almost at its heart. We kind of pan into a simple living room where three characters are. One character sits in a lavish armchair where they are just fully like fucking relaxed. Another who is up and at 'em, pacing and just yelling about doing shit. And then the third, who is hiding upstairs, eavesdropping on these two. Dusk, if you would introduce the members of your family and yourself.
So my brother's the one in the wheelchair. He is a fairly skinny satyr.
Yeah.
I never say that right the first time. But you can definitely see that like he used to be a really strong man. Before he was confined to a wheelchair in a bad injury. My sister.
What was his name?
I wrote that down somewhere.
You don't want to have that.
Family?
You don't already have an entire extended universe for your fantasy family?
Whoa.
I don't either.
Roman is his name.
Roman.
Roman.
Roman?
Okay. So we have
Random
Roman.
name generator.
Roman's in the chair, and just keep in mind that you got to name your sister too.
I sent you her name. That's the mentor's name, Bailey. Bailey is a much broader, shouldered, definitely very strong satyr who's pacing around, has quite a loud voice. Her hair is light brown and shorter than, I didn't explain that Roman's hair is like kind of shoulder length, red, and hers is light brown, shorter than her brother's. They both have big ram horns. And I'm upstairs, kind of peeking over. I'm trying really hard not to let my big braid of hair like show and fling and like catch their attention. I'm also a satyr of about average height. 5'5" for
Thank you.
satyrs. So sorry. I forget that there's so many differences in height. I also have the big ram horns, and I'm wearing just something that like looks like I picked it up off the street. That fits me. I'll put it on. And I am like trying to catch every bit of this information that they are saying, talking about, which is fairly easy with how loud my sister is.
Yeah. And believe it or not, your sister is trying to be hushed in this moment. You see that Roman is just like, hey, calm down. Calm down. We don't need to wake up the entire neighborhood. And your sister just replies, the whole neighborhood is already out. They are out there searching, and they're searching in the wrong place. And he says, by all means, tell me where they've gone. And she says, this has the cult written all fucking over it. We haven't seen or heard from them for years. And now our biggest, the brothers, the Sweetmakers, they just up and vanish. It's gotta be them. I don't know, they snuck in through the sewers, they fucking came up through the floorboards and just yanked them down there. I don't know, but it happened.
Our first conspiracy theory.
I like this person.
Yeah.
And Roman is just sitting there, like, looking at your sister like, oh my god. And she just says, I don't know, I have no other choice. We gotta go check their cave by the coast. And he says, you know we're not supposed to do that. And she says, hey, peace treaties be fucked. We have to do whatever we can to find our boys. And he says, just try and be discreet.
You said check the cave by the coast?
By the coast, yes.
By the coast.
This is the cult's cave.
TM.
The cult's cave, TM. And she says, yeah, we're just gonna get a quick look, see if they're up and active or whatever, and then we'll be back. Just me and a couple of the guys, you know. And he says, do what you must. Can't really stop you. And she says, yeah, I appreciate it, Roman. You got any thoughts for me? Any wisdom? And he says, not for you. And she nods and just says, all right, I guess I'll head out.
Somebody knows.
And she heads out the front door. And it almost immediately, as you hear her hoof steps like fade off down the street, Roman just goes, if you want to stop being treated like a child, you should stop hiding at the top of the stairs.
I'll like sheepishly start walking down.
He just says, how much of that did you hear?
Enough. What's the cult?
Honestly, I don't think they're behind this. A couple old worshippers from back in the day.
Okay.
You might not have been there when we negotiated with them, but they,
No, I wasn't. I wasn't allowed outside of the house.
yes. Look, I know that me and... Is it Bailey?
Yeah,
Bailey, okay. I know that me and Bailey are protective of you. And in retrospect, I wish that we weren't, because we've robbed you of some crucial information. But this cult, from what I remember, They were peaceful. I mean, they started a bit of a ruckus one time. I think they kidnapped a kid.
Just a bit of a ruckus.
Just a bit of a ruckus. But, you know, Hennick and Edlark were able to talk him down like they always do. They were at bay. They were peacefully kept to their cave, their cove. Yeah,
Then why does
I doubt
Bailey
it's
think it's them?
There's really no one else to blame at this point in time. Your sister jumps to accusations fairly frequently.
Yeah.
They make the most sense in this current situation, but I don't think it's the right answer. There's a knock at your door, and Roman just kind of gestures for you to answer it.
I will happily go over that answer.
Okay. You open the door to find a weary, noddish guard, who says, "Oh, hey Bailey. Hey, Attica. Hey, Attica. Is Bailey around?
Not right now, but I can take a message if you
I
need.
got something for her to jump on. Just here. And he hands you 10 gold pieces. And then he says, I got a job for her.
I can tell her when she gets back.
Cool. It's at the Sweetmakers estate. They're looking for people to check it out. Great, thanks. I'm gonna go to bed. And he leaves. And we're gonna pause for a moment because we're gonna take our first break. But we will return to your conversation with Roman about this. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far.